morning. It's still technically morning. Good morning. And welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam. So, I did not watch Disenchanted 2 nights ago like I was going to. I did not see the menu either. Because I had to run over. Because, here's the thing. I'm a jackass. I pre-ordered Pokemon Violet. As you do. And I pre-ordered it at GameStop, because GameStop has that thing where you can pay off incrementally. You pay $20 here, $20 there, get down the line, game comes out, game is yours, you've paid it off incrementally, that way you don't have that big charge all at once of like $65 on your paycheck. Now, I do that at GameStop. Now, there's a GameStop that I can stop at to get my games on the way home from work. I don't have to go to, the one that I ended up going to. The thing was, I made the decision to pre-order it at this GameStop that is nowhere near my house, or my job, because I was out there doing something anyway. I was at, Kohl's, and I was like, oh, well, while I'm here, might as well go to GameStop, see what they have, and I got Beneath the Steel Sky, and I was like, alright, cool, this is awesome, let me pre-order Pokemon Violet while I'm here, and so I pre-ordered the game. And then the day came, I'm like, fuck me, I gotta go all the way over there, which is like a trek and a half, to go pick up this game. So, my thought process was, this is dumb, why did I do this? So I couldn't go to the movie, so I had to get the game, so I can start the game, start getting through it. We'll eventually talk about the game, but I wanted to play a little bit too, on Friday night. So last night, I was playing the game, and I was like, let me watch Disenchanted while I play the game. And I'm not the biggest fan of Enchanted, the first one. I don't think I've ever seen the movie all the way through, but I think I've seen the entire movie through clips. But I don't think I've never sat down and watched the movie the entire way through, beginning to end. I don't think that would have fixed how I feel about this movie. I don't think that would have made this movie better, because I think my issues with this movie come from a fundamental weirdness around what the plot is. Whereas you have Amy Adams, whose character's name I'm forgetting, she's the protagonist, and she is, dealing with, wanting to move out of the city and move to the suburbs and, do that. So it's her, it's Patrick Dempsey, and it's her teenage daughter and her youngest daughter. And they move to the suburbs, and the teenage daughter is movie teenagering it up. So rather than address the issue, she decides to use a magic wand given to her by two people from her home, who are James Marsden, I really like James Marsden in the movie, and Idina Menzel is also really funny. The two of them work very well off of each other. Although I think the single best line in the movie comes from Jayma Mays, who plays one of the bad guys, henchwomen, and she's sitting there, and the woman's looking in the magic mirror, and she's like, who's the most powerful in the land? And it goes and it shows her, what's it called? It shows her Amy Adams, and she goes, this thing must not be working. And it's like, and the girl's, yeah, you said most powerful, not prettiest. And it's like, it's such a great dumb line. I actually laughed out loud when I heard that, because it's such a great dumb line from someone who's meant to be a dumb, a dumb henchwoman. It's so funny. But she gets upset that the daughter doesn't want to be, living in this scenario, and she uses a magic wand to turn life into a fairy tale. But because she's a stepmother, she becomes the bad guy. And I feel like there are a few issues that I have with this. Number one, I don't think they really grapple with her causing what happened. Her becoming the bad guy in this way and having to renounce the wish. And I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, at what point in production were people like, we just saw Wonder Woman 1984 like 2 years ago. Holy fuck, it's been 2 years since Wonder Woman 1984. And like, people really hated the wish bullshit and the witching nonsense. Like, are we sure we want to double down on that? And it's like, it's not 2007 anymore. We don't have to do this going back to the pilot thing to change it. Whatever. So, you like, she does that and she starts becoming the bad guy, but she has to renounce her wish to become the bad guy. But then there's also this earth-ending cataclysm that comes with it that feels like Love and Thunder, kind of ups the stakes needlessly. Where it's like, I don't think we necessarily need the stakes to be both worlds will be destroyed because all the magic that's being drawn is coming from her home. I don't think that's necessarily needed to make this movie work. Because the movie would have worked on its own if we just have the kind of character study aspect of it where she is dealing with her, like her life being upended and her deciding to use this wand to grant the wish that she will be made a basically bring everything to be a fairy tale for her. And it like, that aspect of it alone is fine if we get Amy Adams actually grappling with that in a meaningful way. There's a way to do this where it works, but like, maybe the daughter doesn't quite, but like, the fact that she does this and everyone's kind of just gelling with it, it's kind of like WandaVision, where it's like, yeah, she's definitely the bad guy here. Like, Wanda's definitely the bad guy because she's abducting an entire town and making people live out this fantasy, where for Wanda it's because it's her grief, but for her it's her stepdaughter doesn't really like her. Like, it feels like it's not enough being done to really make this kind of land, and it's just kind of like, alright, well, whatever, move on. There's definitely room for improvement all the way up and down this movie. The music's not anything special, I think, which is kind of one of the things that really actively harms it, because it's not like the music is adding to the production in any meaningful way. Which that alone would have made the movie a lot better if the music was memorable. There's just a lot that goes on here that I'm just like, well, I don't think we necessarily needed all of this to happen. I don't know. I just didn't really care for the movie altogether. At one point toward the beginning where I'm like, I don't know, I'm going to turn this off and put on Phantom Menace, which should give you a testament of the quality of the movie, where I'm like, let me watch the worst Star Wars movie instead of, this. I don't know. I'm not super, like, bullish on this. I'm not like advocating that it's great, but it's also not offensively bad in a weird way, where it's like, it's not like the movie is terrible to the point where it's unwatchable. Like, there are still some enjoyable moments throughout the movie that make it at least somewhat, there are funny moments and there are things like that, but it's like the stakes don't feel matched up with the story it's trying to tell, which is always a problem. And I think that at 2 hours, it's a little long. I would have gone an hour 40, and there's definitely room to cut to make this movie kind of fit in under 2 hours. Where it is going a little over where I would have cut. But yeah, I mean, Disenchanted is perfectly serviceable. I guess if you're a fan of Enchanted, you'll probably like this one. If you're not a fan, you probably won't like this one. It's one of those movies where it's like, it's a sequel that's good for people who like it, but it's unlikely to change any minds of those who need to, who want to get new people on board, which, if you're doing a big production like this, you probably want to get more people on board. I don't think it's exactly made the most palatable. I don't think they do enough with the 2D live action kind of hybrid. I don't think that, I think there's a lot that could be, better explained and better laid out in a way to make the movie more enjoyable. But we will wrap up there for today. So, until our next episode, have a great rest of your week.